Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Pumpkins. Bullet with butterfly wings. It's a grate your teeth kind of tune. I always find that about that song. 92.1 City. We are Winnipeg's rock station. Phil Aubrey, Joe Aiello, and Shalinda Kirby. Welcome to your Wednesday.
Yeah, Would You Rather Wednesday coming up in just over an hour.
We did not mention Two-Dat Tuesday yesterday.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say, Curbs.
Oh, we're on the same mindset.
Yeah, we are. Look at that.
Right out of the gate.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we missed it. Sorry, Joe.
Joe, what, like,
it's
what?
your annual holiday.
In the job list.
Not annual, weekly.
Annual.
It's not even a holiday. If it was a holiday, you wouldn't have seen me here.
Yeah.
But that's a good idea.
You are very detail-oriented, Joe. I'm very surprised that you forgot to bring that up yesterday.
I did. Two-Dat Tuesday, of course, is the number 2, D-A-T. You can hashtag that any Tuesday. And all it is basically, what did you do on Sunday? I just think Tuesday's an underrated day. So if you're a first-time listener, Two-Dat happens every Tuesday. You can send us your pictures of what you did on Sunday. Mine was pretty simple.
Well, that's why
NFL football.
That's why I think you forgot it. That's why I think we sort of let it slip through the cracks yesterday, because for a lot of people, this past Sunday was a time to set the alarm again.
Yes.
Christmas holidays are over.
There's nothing exciting about those pictures, eh?
Right.
I took my tree down, so I mean that was the excitement that I had on the Sunday.
No, but you could have posted a picture of that, yes.
Yeah. My wife takes everything down Boxing Day, like
Mine
your
too.
girl, and I don't like it. I fight with her every year about it because I'd like to see the Christmas vacation stay up until New Year's.
I don't argue about it anymore because the look I would get is basically, well, then you can take it down on your own terms, and that is not going to happen. It'd still be up in July if it was me.
Bang on. I ain't going to do it, and so if you're willing to put it all away,
I'm glad you learned that lesson, Joe.
Yeah, you know what, Curbs? I'm telling you, there are days where I wish I was like you, where you could just take down the tree whenever you want to take down the tree, and I'm sure Christy would say the same thing. So she just does it anyway. She's not going to ask me anymore.
So because we forgot Two-Dat Tuesday, do we need to make today Way Back Wednesday or
No,
anything?
no, you can't. It's Would You Rather Wednesday.
All right.
You've got to stay focused. It'll be back.
Or what did you
Tuesday.
do?
What did you do?
Wednesday.
What did you do on Sunday, Wednesday? We're stretching now.
Philly Joe Kirby.
Philly Joe and Kirby
Podcast.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Call the BONEPHONE 780-BONE. Brought to you by Auto Gallery of Winnipeg.
Yeah, it's that time of year again. I guess we need another public service announcement. But if you take a glance down at your dash and you see a bright blue light on, it means you're a f***ing asshole and you're blinding every single person that is facing you on the roadway. Suck a fart.
Don't suck farts. But listen, I'm. It's not a 2025. It's not a New Year's resolution. But I'm blasting my brights and I get it. There's people out there. I don't have my brights on, and we've been through this 100 times on the show. But I'm pretty sure I know when your brights are on. I really believe that.
There are a lot of situations when you can tell outright that the brights are on, and you're going, how do you not know that your brights are on?
Mm-hmm.
It's like there'll be a cluster of 3 or 4 cars coming at you on the perimeter. All normal lights. None of them make you want to rip your eyes out. They're so bright. And then there's the one. And you're like, whoa, dude, I can't, like I'm blinded.
Yes.
All right. Kudos on this dude's sobriety, but he also has a concern.
Hey, just passed my 4-year sobriety.
Nice. Before we move
Very
on.
nice. Congratulations.
Well
Awesome.
done. Yeah.
I'm gonna say, in all the years of rock and roll, there's got to be more than the 6 sober rock stars that you guys play on your sober ads. You guys need to do something with that. You know, give me some other motivation to keep sober. And the Slash, and that drummer from the Beatles, and Alice Cooper. Come on, there's got to be a couple more. Come on.
Okay. Well,
It's twofold, isn't it? I mean, sometimes it's not the radio station end, it's the celebrity end. If there's only so many of them that are taking part in that public service announcement program that's available to us, those are the ones we're broadcasting. But it's a great note to make, and I'm sure Iron Mike will take notice of it. And if we can get more celebrities on board, then I'm sure our company will look into that.
Well, he referenced Alice Cooper and Slash. We have PSAs with them. They are both in the mix. So I guess you haven't heard them yet, but I have.
I've also heard those. And I was telling you guys yesterday that I saw Rob Halford of Judas Priest celebrate his 38th anniversary of being sober on social media over the weekend.
That's awesome.
Yeah, especially in that world.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you don't want to piss off a mama.
Yeah, so this is to the bonehead who picked up my son's wallet when he left it at the till at Superstore on Regent New Year's Eve. I hope you get a case of crabs. You are a piece of crap. Karma's going to get you one way or the other. We live in a useless society. Jesus.
Crabs is
I
harsh.
have never wished a case of crabs on anybody, but that is quite something.
Yeah. I didn't even know that was a thing still.
I hope you get
but I'm
crabs.
telling you, that's hardcore. And you know what? Honestly, yes. There's nothing more frustrating, especially on a holiday, losing your wallet and having to cancel everything possible and try and regroup and get everything made again. Oof.
And if there's no cash in it or whatever, how hard, even if there is cash in it, how hard is it to give it back to the guy working at the liquor store?
Yeah.
Just leaving it there,
Because
yeah.
you know the guy's coming back for his wallet. Okay, from one douchey move to another.
Good morning. It's T. Kona calling back about the call I made about parking. Billy, you said you probably don't blame the guy for parking like a douche like that. Well, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. I was going to say the rest of my story, but it got too long. Anyway, so me and the wife go out for dinner with our new truck, parked at the end of the aisle, you're the last vehicle. Someone decides that they're going to run their key the full length of my new truck. So,
Why?
And I parked normal, but I parked at the end. So I don't know what the hell. Maybe I got to park, I don't know, in a field somewhere. But that's bullshit.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Wow.
Why?
You gotta hope for T. Kona's case that somebody out there can buff it out.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it can be buffed out. Hopefully they didn't just go deep where you got to get it all. That's an MPI
so
claim,
bad.
boy. Oof.
Yeah, comes up, I feel like every year, maybe around this time, but winter, people who wear the shorts in winter.
I don't know what it is with Winnipeggers, but it's like minus 42 out with the wind chill, and people are walking around in shorts and like maybe a bomber jacket, spring jacket, but come on, shorts. Minus 42. You know you're a Winnipegger when?
So what is it, though? Is it the elastic band because I find it's those basketball shorts or sweat shorts that are the most common? Are they just so comfortable with the elastic band?
I got a buddy who rocks shorts all year round. And for him, I've asked him, don't you freeze your legs off? And he says, it's all about comfort.
I got to be honest, it's the first thing that freezes on me are my feet now as I've gotten older. That's the last thing I'm worried about, comfort. It's like when you have no feeling in your legs. But, yeah, you see it out there. Worked with a guy. He was our head engineer for many years. His name was George.
Bazunas?
Bazunas. He would wear shorts all year round with, and then a pair of socks and clogs. There was no boots. There was no nothing.
I love
and
that.
not even a jacket, Kirby.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was shorts
that
and
is
a shirt.
Seasoned Winnipegger.
Well, it still does it.
if you listen to this show and you wear shorts or you know somebody who does and they have explained it to you, we'd love to hear. We'd love to hear from you winter shorts wearers on the Boston Pizza text line 762-555 and tell us the why. Okay, Vinny, first time in the new year, and he's got a surprise, a banger request.
I have a banger request. Good banger yesterday, by the way. It wasn't mine, though. Def Leppard, yeah, I'm a huge Leppard fan. I was going to request Leppard. I don't think they can play Leppard.
Phil gave you a shout-out, though.
Bangers,
I did, right?
You said, you referenced that if there was a Def Leppard request, you usually feel it's coming from Vinny.
Yep.
I don't think they would do that. No, it's a song that I haven't heard maybe 20 years. I don't think you guys ever played it for a long time. It's How Many More Times by Zeppelin.
We have that.
That is, to me, a kick-ass song. Because, like I said, I haven't heard a banger in a while, and I don't hear every banger. Sometimes I maybe sleep in or go out, do my rounds, stuff like that. So
busy guy.
If you could get that song, that would be the greatest New Year's gift I ever had.
Oh.
Anyways, later, cats.
Do his rounds. Is he a
Listen,
doctor?
I was going to say, there's only a couple professions that can use the line that they're doing their rounds. One of them's a golfer, professional golfer. One of them's a doctor, and the other one is Vinny.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
I didn't get to this call in the bone phone, and because I wanted to just chat about it separately. It's about bread and bread crusts or bread heels. It's been a conversation ongoing for a couple of days on the show. Do you eat the heel? Do you skip it? We've had all kinds of opinions, and this dude has an interesting take on the whole loaf of bread.
Hey, I don't know if it's just me. You guys are talking about bread. Am I the only weird one that'll bypass the first 4 or 5 pieces to get to the center ones to make my sandwich, or what?
Whoa, that's a new twist on things. No.
Kirby said she does that.
Yeah.
Oh, you skip not only the heel, but you skip the first few, too.
Yeah, they've been affected by the heel.
Yeah, so she goes for the larger slices in the middle.
I always think those are going to be the fresher slices too, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
So if I'm making a sandwich fresh with fresh bread, I'm definitely reaching for the middle. If I'm toasting it, I don't mind grabbing the first few slices.
They're smaller, depending on what kind of bread you're buying. To be honest, I'll grab sometimes more, just a few. I don't make an effort to go right into the middle.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just grab whatever kind of breaks off of the loaf kind of thing. Oh, okay, these 4 slices, I'll start here.
So what happens to those? So you're wasting the heel and the first few after the heel. That's a lot of waste in that loaf.
Not waste. You'll go back and use them. They're just not your first choice when
Gotcha.
you're making that first sandwich. And here's the best part.
Your hand deep into that bag.
Touching all of the other breads.
Yeah, you've touched all the other slices. And here's the best part. When you get to that piece where you're about 3/4 into the loaf and you still have the first 3 pieces next to the heel, and now you have a mismatched sandwich. There's not enough bread on both sides to cover the protein. The vegetables.
I do hate when one of the pieces of bread is not as big as the other one, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The mismatched sandwich.
Especially if it's a grilled cheese, because then the cheese gets all over the pan.
Yeah.
I had a sandwich for lunch yesterday, a BLT.
Nice.
But with plant-based bacon.
Right.
And
yummy.
I toasted
So not
it.
a BLT.
I toasted it too much.
That's a BSLT.
And do you ever get it hurts the top of your roof of your mouth if you toast?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You roughed
it
up
gets tender.
yeah.
Oh, use the heel in your brown sugar container to keep it from clumping. My
I've seen that
mom
before.
used to always have some bread in the brown sugar.
Yeah.
I never understood it.
Yeah.
All these years later.
A lot of people are suggesting, including Kim, and this came up the other day, French onion soup. The heel makes for great pieces for the French
crouton.
onion soup.
Yeah.
For all those French big
And we did have
pots,
the chef.
all those pots of French onion soup I'm making around the house.
Yeah, I guess you could do it even just in a regular bowl of soup. Just throw in if you're going to do some crackers or something.
Yeah.
But
There's no shortage of usages for that heel.
You could also feed it to the birds.
Yeah, another
Yes,
one.
you
Go in the
could.
yard, fire it
But
to
I'll
the
tell
birds,
you.
squirrels.
I just realized how much I have disdain for a mismatched sandwich, though. It just doesn't work out as well. When the
not-
breads the slices don't match.
Not a fan.
It can ruin your day. I miss
It could.
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby podcast. Philly Joe and Kirby's Entertainment Rundown.
All right, I happened upon this. We all love our TV in this room. Some of the big shows coming your way in 2025. Kirby, you've been talking a lot about this. Severance, January 17th.
Yeah, the second season. The first was very good.
Yeah, you think I would like it. I'm maybe Joe too, but you've certainly encouraged me to watch it.
On Apple TV.
What's it about?
It's basically about these people. It's the premise of working a job and then being able to separate your mind from work to your home life, so you don't actually remember work. It's about a brain chip thing. It's kind of like high tech stuff.
It has nothing to do with a severance check coming your way as an
No,
employee.
it's severancing yourself from
From work.
from your work self. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it gets good reviews. The Last of Us, talked about this yesterday. Season 2 coming in April. Black Mirror, Season 7. Release date to be announced. The Bear. Joe, did you watch The Bear?
Love it.
Okay. This is season 4 of The Bear?
Yeah, it's. I mean, there a lot of these shows aren't many episodes anymore either, right? Yeah, that's a Disney show.
So that's in June. Stranger Things season 5. Release date to be announced. A ton of buzz about that one. And I am excited. There's a few good ones in there. Can't wait.
Wasn't it you, Phil, who told us about the Winnie the Pooh horror movie?
Yeah, yeah.
They turned Winnie the Pooh into like a terrible like thrasher movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they're doing the same with Popeye the Sailor Man.
Yeah, I had this in
Yeah,
entertainment
we talked
rundown.
about this a few weeks ago.
Okay, well, I just saw the trailer for it,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks very interesting. It's
Isn't
coming
it
out this month.
Popeye the Slayer Man or something.
Something
They
along-
were.
yeah, I
that
think
was the
it's-
premise.
Yes. And
Yep.
so January 17th, that's coming out.
It's the new trend now, turning these kids' stories into slasher flicks.
Den of Thieves 2 comes out this Friday. A lot of people talking about Gerard Butler and O'Shea Jackson being in this, right? Because
Nice.
the first one was pretty intense as far as an action flick. I just wanted to talk about something that started last night on Rogers Sportsnet. You might have caught it. It was TGL, Tomorrow's Golf League, that Rory McIlroy, of course, and Tiger Woods have something to do with. And it's basically something that every one of us that has played in front of a golf simulator could have come up with this great idea. But millionaires put it together, and it looked kind of neat. The crowd was into it, and it's league play in front of a simulator indoors. And I don't know if you caught it last night, but it looked pretty good. If you haven't seen the highlights, it's a league. It started up last night, and it will be a weekly thing on Sportsnet if you want to catch it. Tomorrow's Golf League.
Be neat to see if it takes off. And
Yeah, I
actually
think
does
it
well.
will.
Yeah? Okie dokie. That is your entertainment rundown.
Philly Joe Kirby.
Philly Joe and Kirby.
Podcast.
The Philly Joe and Kirby Podcast.
Last hour, we put out the call for those who wear shorts in the winter. The winter shorts guy. We'll call them guy. I think it's more of a guy thing. Can we all agree than it would be a female thing?
I have not, in my time living in this city, seen a woman rocking shorts in winter.
Me neither.
Nope.
So winter shorts guy was the topic of discussion last hour, thanks to the BONEPHONE. And we put out the call. Hey, if you're winter shorts guy, we want to know the reason. And we got this here on the Boston Pizza text line 762-555. Hey guys, JC here. Love the show. I wish, let me start that over. I wear shorts every day outside because, and this is a problem Joe and I never have, because I go to the gym after work and it's easier than changing back into full gear. All the cold I see is from the car to the house or car to the gym. If I stop at the gas station on my way home, people say, oh my God, you're in shorts. And I always have to explain, I left the gym and didn't want to change. So if I could extrapolate here, this is an excuse for you to talk about going to the gym. Well, I was at the
It's
gym.
a conversation starter, you know?
Yeah, no, I'm just bugging you, JC. So just to finish off what he said here, it's not that cold in short spurts. Heaven forbid I get into an accident and got to stand on the side of the road. Cheers, friends.
You know what? There's quite a few people that have suggested that they do wear shorts, that the amount of time they can stomach the cold for that short time that they're outside, because going from the car to the garage, I guess, or right, or wherever you go to work, it's a few-minute walk. So whatever makes you comfortable, I guess.
We also got a few people weighing in on women, and so I'm going to just elaborate on that. So it isn't much different between me wearing a skirt and a guy wearing a pair of shorts in the winter.
Right.
So I have to say, like, you don't see a lot of women in shorts, but you do see women wearing dresses and skirts this time of year.
Yeah, that's coming up a
So
lot.
that also is very cold.
Yeah, but that's more of work attire. Like, that's the reason for that. You're not, no dude is like, yeah, I wear shorts because this is what I wear. This is my casual, business casual look.
That is true.
My Air Jordan shorts. So I don't know, that might be a little bit apples and oranges, wearing a dress like to the office.
Exposed legs, yes, but apples and oranges as far as you're talking about work attire.
Yeah, it doesn't. You never see a woman in a dress and go, whoa, what is she doing wearing that in the winter?
Well, I mean, if you go to the bars, in my 20s, I used to stand out in line to get into the bar in like -20, wearing just like a little skirt or a little dress and heels. I mean, that's like the Canadian way of doing it, I guess.
Absolutely. and as far as the point about, I hope I don't get in a car accident, or what if your car breaks down? Like I always say, because my kids, one of them's a teenager and the other one's like knocking at the teenager door, so they want to always wear hoodies. They don't want to wear their jackets, or they've got their Birks on when I take them to hockey and stuff. And I always say to them, "What happens if Dad's truck breaks down on the way? We're going all the way to Hockey for All Center.
Yeah.
What if we get into a hopefully minor car accident, like if it were to be a car accident, and we got to stand out and we got to get out of the vehicle, or the heat's not working."
Here's the question I have for that age. If it's 30 above and it's July, they're wearing the same hoodie that they're wearing when it's minus 40 going to the Hockey for All Center.
Very true.
And it's crazy because their body temperature does not change at that age, I guess.
Yeah.
Or they won't admit it that they're too hot or too cold.
Too important to look cool. This person, I go shovel my driveway in shorts. My wife gets texts from our neighbors all the time telling her I'm outside in shorts shoveling the driveway.
Just in case you didn't know, your husband's out there in shorts.
Health check on your husband.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Here we go. Every Wednesday at 7:20. Always a lot of fun. We will start with Kirby. Would you rather, Kirbs, drink when you're incredibly thirsty, like get that satisfying thirst quencher? We're talking about like walking through the desert thirsty, or eat when you're insanely hungry, like having that first meal after fasting for a medical procedure?
Oh, both of those are just great feelings. You wake up hungover and you drink water the next day. And it's just like you can't get enough of it.
Mm-hmm.
You're so dehydrated.
Right.
But I gotta say, I do a happy dance when I eat food after being hungry, because I get hangry.
Yeah, I would have to say the same thing. Mind you, there's nothing that beats that first glass of water or whatever that quenches your thirst. But I agree. I don't get angry if I don't have a drink. I would get angry if I don't eat.
I've been hiking with you.
That's true.
When you get thirsty on that trail.
But then what do I pull out? Not water. I pull out a snack.
Yeah, that's right, pizza. You always put an extra large pizza in your backpack, which weighs you down. I always tell you.
Yeah, well, that's part of the process. You got to have a little extra weight in the backpack. And then when I pull out the Ziploc bag, everybody, including the wolves and the bears, and how deep I like to get into the woods.
We got attacked by animals on our hike. Well, sir, you did bring a full buffet full of Italian food.
Deluxe pizza. A lot of toppings.
NFL playoffs start this weekend with Wild Card Weekend. So here's an NFL type would you rather. Kirby, you're lost in the jungle. Would you rather be lost with Andy Reid, coach of the Chiefs, or Dan Campbell, coach of the Lions?
Oh,
Lost
that's my
in the jungle.
guy.
They're both your guys. You like the Chiefs,
I do
too?
like Andy Reid too, because he just seems like such a nice gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would love to have Sunday dinner at his house.
It'd be a big meal too. He's admittedly like a huge fan of food, like on par with Joe and I.
Yeah.
But Dan Campbell, I feel like I'd have better survival skills in the
He'd get you out
wilderness
of
with him. Yeah, he would get us out of there for sure. I would say Dan Campbell.
A little too intense, like at any given moment. But
come on, Joe! You got to rally!
Yeah, seriously. Like he would motivate me in nobody's business. But Andy Reid would be a little bit more lethargic like myself. We don't need two of us in the jungle at the same time. So I'm going with Dan Campbell as well, because he's just as nice a gentleman, apparently, as Andy Reid.
Yeah.
And if you're and legitimately Dan Campbell versus a lion, it would probably be close.
Yeah,
like
he already coaches them.
Exactly. Like he would be the guy. Would you rather, Kirby, on your next vacation, and you're going on one in a few weeks, learn how to parasail or learn how to dog sled? So you'd be going somewhere cold with the dog sledding, or learn how to parasail.
I'm not into water activities. Like there's something about parasailing over the water.
You don't go into the water at these resorts?
I mean, I go into the water, but I'm not doing any of the activities like snorkeling or scuba diving or going out on a yacht or something. But I would love to go on a dog sled. I've seen that when I lived up in the Yukon, and it's so cool to see these dogs get jacked up and ready to go on a run.
The races are neat. Sure.
Yeah.
Well, you are sitting down for that for the race part. But you know what? Honestly, out of the two, just on the weather situation, I think I'd have a better shot at maybe trying parasailing, even though I don't swim,
Mm-hmm.
than I would dog sledding myself. Because they can
you
go
would be
at
terrified.
well, they go at major speeds too. The dog sleds,
Yeah,
and
they
it's
do.
cold.
But you're also afraid of heights.
Yeah.
So parasailing, isn't that up in the air?
Yeah.
And you don't know how to swim.
Yeah.
That is a very risky move, Joe.
Well, I'll tell you, being on a sled in the middle of winter, you don't know where that's going.
Oh, man. Okay, would you rather, we'll wrap it up, go back to elementary school, so your elementary school days, or jump forward to retired life, Kirby?
Oh, retired
And
life.
We're talking knowing what you know now in elementary, or you're going to retired life.
Oh, retired life is it, man. Shuffleboard,
You're
like,
almost there
you
now,
got
with the
early
exception
bedtimes,
of coming into work.
dinner
you're
at 4 p.m. I know. I'm ready for retirement. Like, give me a puzzle and, put me in a room.
Interesting. I'm close to retirement, I'm guessing. But I loved elementary school because you had no problems. Nothing to worry about in the world when you were in elementary school.
Yeah.
You had your friends, you did stuff.
Recess.
Yeah.
What team were you going to be on at recess for whatever you were doing?
Yeah. You know what? I'd like to go back to elementary school. Relive that. Retirement. I mean, I don't know what that means.
Well, we're going to, don't forget, we're thinking about opening up Philly and Joe's retirement community.
No, that's still going to happen. And we
Okay,
still,
so-
somebody asked today if we've gone any further with our hot dog
Still in the works.
works.
A lot of things are in the works.
Rotisserie.
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
The biggest show in Vegas going is the Consumer Electronics Show. It's on now, and it gives the rest of the world a look at what's happening tech-wise in the future. And there's always a couple of neat items. I red flagged a couple of these. One of them made me think of Kirby right off the get-go. Everybody's had the issue with blowing on a cup of coffee or tea to cool it down. And I saw Kirby bring in a cup of coffee this morning from over here, right? You just had it made?
I brewed some coffee at work today.
And here's the thing. There's this robot that they've created. It's a cat robot that you attach to the top of your glass or cup or your mug. And this robot cat blows on your drink for you. So it would be the perfect gift for... Look at her. Look at her. She's
You
like...
had me at cat.
She
You didn't even
was-
need to tell me it blew on the drink.
A robotic cat, and I'm sure they can do it with other animals of your choice. But yeah, it'll do the blowing for you on your soup or whatever. That's one big item.
My Nana used to put an ice cube in our chicken noodle soup when we were kids because it would be too hot for us to eat.
Yeah,
Super
you're
common.
not the only
Yep.
Nana, and I'll tell you what.
No, you're Nana.
Here's the best part. The consumer electronics people would have laughed at your Nana because she did something very easy. These people are creating electronics. Do you want one more?
Yes.
I thought this one was pretty cool. For anybody who's done with wires, can't stand doing it, TV, they've come out with a what they're calling a displaced wireless television. So it's basically a TV. You can hook it up. It's got a suction cup fill on the back. So you're going out to your garage. You're going to do some work like you usually do on the vehicle.
Well,
but
you
your
know, when I'm
favorite
out
team's
there,
playing.
yeah, with my shirt off, working on the car, yeah.
You just pop the TV off the wall. You don't have to unhook anything.
Oh, that's big. That's a big one.
And then pop it onto whatever wall
more
you
mounting?
want. Take
No-
it into the bathroom with you.
No more mounting all over
Nothing.
that's big.
And it doesn't have any wires, and obviously it they've got an AI agent that does the task like streaming in that for you. I thought that one was
Bring
pretty
in the
cool.
55-incher into the can for
Yeah.
to
Oh my
watch.
God.
I can't miss a beat. Don't put it on pause any longer. Take it with you.
Phil, this one's for your dad. You have said on the show that your dad loves salty food. Like he puts salt on salt, basically.
On pizza, Chinese food, all the things that have no use for salt. He still needs the salt shaker, yes.
Well, he's not alone because they have created an electric salt spoon. So basically this thing, when you eat with it, it gives your tongue like a bit of a electric current. It doesn't hurt or anything,
Yeah.
but it causes things to taste saltier than they really are. So you're
He
not
would
consuming
never
sodium.
use a spoon that gives electric. What? Nah, give me
He
the salt
probably
shaker.
wouldn't even notice.
No chance.
And then everybody likes to, talk about the Roomba because it was quite an invention, right? The robot vacuum.
Yep.
Sure.
They're upgrading it to be able to pick up stuff. So it's going to have an arm on it that will be able to pick up small items that weigh less than 11 ounces. So if you got like a sock lying around, instead of it vacuuming it up, it will just like
That's
pick it
cool.
up, out of its way.
What
That
better way
noise.
to freak out your pet than to add something with
an arm,
that's
yes.
moving around now?
Oh, that's freaky.
And then last but not least, if you've ever wanted to try rollerblading, but you're just like concerned about
It's exhausting.
yeah, well, these are for those people. Electric rollerblades for $800. You can relive the 90s and break a
Do
break
people
a
do
hip
people have
without
to
it
know?
breaking a sweat.
Do people have to know they're electric? Can I fool them like I'm rollerblading my ass off? The new year, new me, but they're electric.
They go top speed is 18 miles an hour. I would be shocked if somebody thought that was you manually.
That's a scary speed.
No kidding.
Philly Joe Kirby.
Philly Joe and Kirby.
Podcast.
The Philly Joe and Kirby Podcast.
Philly Joe and Kirby's completely useless question.
Useless with a capital Y.
So useless.
Brought to you by Midtown Ford.
Some 41 tickets on the line. Those guys in town. January 20th, Canada Life Center. Joe's got the question.
Yeah, not too far down the road. 75% of people that took this survey said they're most likely to do this between 8 a.m. and noon.
And
8 a.m. and noon.
75%. That's a high number.
Okay.
Okay, let's get right at it here. 780 City, 780-2484. Good morning.
Let's go with Philly here.
Well, let's if Joe and I are going to chuck around the weights, it's usually between 8 and noon. So I'm going to go with exercise.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Shut the front door.
right out of the gate this morning, 75% of people
Holy.
are most likely to go for a workout between 8 a.m. and noon. If they're going to get it, they want to get it done early before their rest of the day
Makes sense.
gets rolling.
Kirby works out. You hit the treadmill at 2:30 in the morning.
Well, 2, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
The neighbors love it. She lives in an apartment.
My wife's the same way. And you talk to a lot of people. If they don't do it early, they won't do it.
That is so true.
You want to hear what else is on this list since we knocked it off so fast?
Please.
Lifeline Phil Aubrey.
Yeah.
Hit a drive-through was on the list as well, because I guess with that breakfast coffee idea
Oh, yeah.
and such. Taking a class of some sort. Doesn't necessarily have to be a university class, but of something.
Crochet.
They're going to do it. Yeah, whatever.
Pottery class.
Whatever. You know, you could use the
Judo.
What's the guide? The leisure guide. Do
Yeah.
something or whatever. Running an errand. People suggest that they'd like to get that done early and then get on with their day by lunchtime.
Somebody would like
Interesting.
to know, is taking a poop on that list?
It was not, but
That'd be 99%.
Somebody on the text line.
that means, well, that's probably 100% hope they could before noon.
Who's this?
Corey.
Corey, do you work out or exercise before noon?
Absolutely not.
Well, you
Neither do these guys,
No,
okay?
no.
So-
Listen, Phil got the answer. That's all we got to give him credit for. It's not because he does it.
No, absolutely. People around me do it, so it seems like a lot of people do it. Corey, you got some 41 tickets. Congratulations.
All right, thanks.
For more Philly Joe and Kirby, lock it into 92.1 City weekday mornings 6 to 10.